From the port city of Mombasa, our screens are filled with orange colors. The ODM party is meeting in Mombasa for the 20th anniversary. Very unfortunate, very sad that Baba is not there. But I'm sure in spirit, because Baba is a spirit, he's in Mombasa with the party delegates. I wish to congratulate the party delegates, the party followers, members, and the party leadership for organizing this event and making it possible. I'm particularly happy with the way the segments are working. Youth, women, wonderful. But today, I go beyond the color, the pomp, the ceremony, the excitement, the nice speeches and the images, and pose one question. Is ODM as united as the speakers would have us believe? Apart from 001 Sultan Ali Hassan Joho, who seemed to sort of differ a bit with the rest are speaking in unison, in one voice, that ODM is one indivisible party marching forward, like Winnie said, inspired by its past. Not just the glory, but the struggle, the sweat, the blood. Winnie brought it out so well. But is ODM in one piece? When the deal is too good, think twice. Looking at the attempt to present a united party, I'm worried for ODM. I would be happier if there were more Johos in Mombasa. If people differed openly in terms of opinion, openly, that would look and appear to me to be more natural. In other words, what we are seeing from Mombasa is not natural. It's a make-believe. I am sure people are talking to others with at least one hand behind, holding a dagger. I'm not so sure there is truce and peace between Sifuna and Oburu Odinga. I wouldn't be surprised if Oburu Odinga was holding a dagger behind. And I'm not so sure how safe Oburu's back will be if he met the other camp in darkness. That's what is coming. So from Mombasa, I can see deception, a make-believe appearance of a united ODM. But there's something else from Mombasa. Because there are a number of observations I want to make about Mombasa and ODM. One, the hurry. And it reinforces the first thing I've said about people not being sincere. People holding daggers. The speed with which people are taking offices. I have nothing wrong with Oburu Odinga, I've said repeatedly. But the speed with which he was procedurally and constitutionally, according to their own constitution, first made acting party leader. Raila dies on Wednesday, still in India on Thursday morning around 6 o'clock. Oburu has been made acting party leader by the organ that I doubt had the power to do it, NEC. And the chorus that we have been treated to, including delegations from ODM delegates in Luo Nyanza, including what happened in the meeting they had in Nairobi. But more importantly, everybody supporting that he's the party leader, and quickly being sworn in. They are lawyers in ODM. I don't know whether you swear somebody at the tail end of the process or in between. I saw somewhere in the constitution of ODM that the Central Committee may propose somebody to act. And of course, the Constitution talks about one of the deputy party leaders. So these were bypassed. Okay, you may argue that you can bypass. You can ignore that part of the Constitution and bypass Nasir, Osozi, or Rarati. That you may argue, but is in writing. So that's the first violation. You may bypass, but it has to be the Central Committee. But in this case, it was NEC, another violation. And then that recommends the National Governing Council. I'm not a lawyer, so maybe I didn't read well. It's the National Governing Council that then confirms that acting. So Oburu would have been confirmed by the National Governing Council, which happened in Mombasa. But doesn't end there. The National Delegate Conference, they call Convention, NDC, is the final authority of the party. It makes the final decision. In this case, to ratify. To ratify means you can ratify or you can fail to ratify. I believe it is only then that you are able to take oath of office. Because then you are fully in office. Why would you take oath of office before the decision is ratified by NDC? So if they don't ratify, what happens? We unoath you. We swear in the President of the Republic of Kenya, not just after the election. No. Not just after IBC has issued the president-elect with a certificate. No. We give a 2-week period. I think it's more than 2 weeks because 2 weeks then you need to go to Supreme Court, then after that, and until that process is exhausted. Only then can the president-elect take oath of office. In my thinking, in my understanding and interpretation, then the leader of ODM, party leader, should only take oath of office upon ratification by the NDC. And therefore I'm justified to say the speed with which these things are happening is suspect. And therefore, back to point number 1. Those who by word of mouth, by mouth, those who are grinning, attempting to smile, but you can see they are grinning, just showing their teeth and supporting Oburu Odinga, are not genuine. They are not genuine. And that is what will destroy ODM. I like men and women who are genuine. I know we live in a country of survival. Every person looks at survival. Those of us who say no, we look stupid and foolish. But we have not died because we have said no. We have not died because we didn't get those things that the men who said yes got them. We breathe the same air. Tukiamka asubuhi jua inatoka kwa sisi wote. Wale wameamkia Karen, wale wameamkia Kibra na wale hapo katikati wote tunaamka tu. Hakuna jua ya mtu ambaye alilala Mathare na jua ya mtu ambaye alilala Runda. We all need food for survival. It doesn't matter that yours was a 5-course meal. We must breed a nation. We must breed leaders who can stand for something, who stand for nation, who stand for truth, who have values. When something is going wrong, we want men and women who can stand up and say this is not right. ODM is too important to be sacrificed on the altar of selfishness, self-preservation, being right, being correct, not wanting to offend, mindful your next election, thinking about the promises you made to Ruto or somebody else. ODM is too important for that. ODM is part of and parcel of our democracy. ODM defines Raila's legacy, culmination of the struggles of the years of sweat and blood, like Winnie said. Not just of Raila, but of the people who believed in what Raila believed in, of the people who followed Raila Odinga. We want to see men and women who can stand for country, who can stand for democracy, for what is right. Men and women who know the party of Raila Odinga cannot be led by cowards. The party of Raila Odinga, founded on blood and sweat, cannot be led by yes men, by men who tremble at authority and fear to look authority in the eye, by men and women who tremble when 30 pieces of silver are thrown their way. No, not at all. That's not what we need in this country. What we need for ODM is what we need for this country. Strong democratic institutions, strong political parties, led by men of conviction. That's what I see. But I'm also happy, number 3, that there is beginning to emerge voices of reason within ODM. The boys would say the fear is gone. Yes, the fear is beginning to go. And there are men like Orengo who say they can go back to the streets. And they don't fear anything. That they fear, the only thing they fear is fear itself. Thank you, James Orengo. Thank you, Winnie. That there are men and women beginning to speak for ODM. And this is coming from Mombasa. The hope and prayer of most people who believe in the ideals of democracy, ideals for which ODM stands for, ideals on which ODM was founded, the values and principles of democracy, the values and principles that led Raila Odinga into starting ODM with fellow compatriots. There are people beginning to find their voices. We encourage such voices. After all, country will be better off when we have strong political parties. For now, ODM is the only party we can look at and look to. And as we retire to bed, we say there is hope in democracy in this country. That when you look around and you see ODM, a vibrant ODM, you know there's still hope. You know we can still organize our politics through political parties. And therefore, those voices that are beginning to emerge from Mombasa, voices of reason, we encourage them. Not just for their own good and for the good of ODM, but for the good of democracy and ultimately the good of this country. We hope that going forward, sycophancy will be reduced to the minimal levels. I urge the members of ODM, I urge the party organs to be bold enough after these celebrations and after the mourning period is over. I urge the leadership of ODM to step forward and bring this question to the really owners of ODM, the rank and file, the party members, speaking through their delegates during an NDC. And therefore, my call to Sifuna, Oburu Odinga and the rest, Gladys Wanga, have the courage to call an NDC. And don't begin telling us that an NDC is due in 2020, I don't know when, 27. We shall hear none of that. Be men and women of courage. Call an NDC. Let the rank and file, the real owners of ODM, let them speak. Let them speak through the NDC. Let them meet in Kasarani and say, this is the leadership we need for the party. Because only then can ODM survive. This patchwork, kupiga viraka, nguo imeraruka unapiga viraka, dole patterns, coat of many colors that Mama made for me. Don't make for ODM a coat of many colors. Patches. Let the people speak. My challenge to the leadership, currently constituted, is please have the courage to call for an NDC and let ODM get its true leaders to preserve the party and democracy and Raila's legacy.